Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. So, I decided to take a break from soccer, the NWSL women's soccer over the weekend, and just decided to unwind and relax. I went to the mall and bought some Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme, which smells really good, by the way. I've been wanting to get it for a while now, and I definitely do recommend it. Like, get the extreme, the extreme version if you do want to try it. Then afterwards, I grabbed some pumpkin spice lattes and settled down to watch some classic horror movies because it's October and it's horror movie season. So yeah, it's kind of my favorite time of the year since I love horror movies. Anyway, while I was taking a weekend break, no surprise, a lot happened over the weekend in regards to the NWSL, and I'm going to briefly talk about the major things that happened over the weekend. As many of you already know, all the NWSL games that were supposed to take place Friday, October 1st and Saturday, October 2nd were canceled. NWSL Commissioner Lisa Baird resigned over the weekend due to Alex Morgan leaking emails showing that Baird knew about Sinead Farrelly, and I've been pronouncing her name wrong, so I'm really sorry about that. Anyway, so Lisa Baird knew about Sinead Farrelly wanting to open up a new investigation into Paul Riley. Baird tried to play dumb and act as though this was all completely new to her and it's the first time she's hearing about it. I did do a video talking about those emails and the NWSL playing dumb, and I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So it's like 18 minutes long if you want to watch it. You may want to have some coffee, pumpkin spice lattes, beer, or stroopwafels while watching it. So, more details surrounding the former OL Reign head coach for Reed Bend City were also released on Friday, and I will be making a separate video discussing those details in this upcoming week. So, yeah, it's kind of like what was revealed. It could be surprising, but at the same time, at least to me, a Reign fan, it wasn't really. Anyway, at a Portland Timbers match, fans held up signs during the game calling out the NWSL, particularly the Portland Thorns owner Merritt Paulson, saying Paulson / the NWSL knew what happened to Sinead Farrelly and Mana Shim, and they knew about Paul Riley. I kind of got goosebumps seeing that sign because, yes, of course they knew. Of course Paulson knew, and of course the NWSL knew. And still, the NWSL chose to cover it up and allow Paul Riley to continue coaching. I am happy that the NWSL and MLS fans are demanding that the NWSL players be protected, and that the NWSL take responsibility and hold themselves accountable for their actions, or in this case, lack of action. Okay, so on Sunday, October 3rd, the NWSL announces commitment to systematic transformation. I'll leave a link to this article in the description below as well. So, an executive committee was created to manage oversight of the league's front office operations. So, this committee is coming after Lisa Baird's resignation. This committee includes Amanda Duffy, who's from Orlando Pride, Angie Long, almost said Ali Long, but Angie Long from Kansas City, and Sophie Savage of OL Reign. That's a savage name right there, not gonna lie. These three are going to be managing the NWSL until a permanent commissioner is hired. The article then goes on to say the league is immediately launching several critical investigative and reform initiatives to protect players and staff and the environment in which athletes live, train, and compete in order to give athletes the agency and the ability to safely report misconduct of any form. The article then says the NWSL has retained Covington and Burling to oversee these investigations. Amanda Kramer, former assistant United States attorney in the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, will lead the firm's team and will report directly to the NWSL's new executive committee, i.e. Amanda Duffy, Angie Long, and Sophie Savage. Before I get into talking about the NWSL's new initiatives, I want to point out that some fans are a little concerned and upset with Amanda Kramer being involved because she is the same former assistant U.S. attorney who chose not to prosecute Jeffrey Epstein in 2016 for trafficking children. I don't really want to get into the whole Epstein thing, but I did include 3 articles in the description below talking about how Amanda Kramer and New York prosecutors refused to investigate and prosecute Jeffrey Epstein back in 2016 for child trafficking due to a lack of evidence, despite high-profile lawyer David Boies, who represents some of Epstein's victims, saying to a tabloid, "We have evidence. There's a whole record that's been developed. We can establish beyond any reasonable doubt there was a massive sex trafficking ring going on." Kramer did try to look for evidence that would let Epstein be charged in Manhattan, but she apparently couldn't find anything. So, yeah, very interesting articles. I'm just going to leave it at that, but I do invite you to read those articles as well. On the other hand, U.S. Soccer is also going to be launching their own investigation into the allegations of abusive behavior and sexual misconduct in women's professional soccer. For that, the U.S. Soccer retains Sally Q. Yates of King and Spalding. Yates is a former U.S. Attorney and Deputy Attorney General of the United States. Alright, so now that the lawyers are here, let's get into the NWSL's new initiatives. The first one, an independent review of practices and policies at the league and club levels, including workplace policies for each club in the league, league-mandated anti-discrimination and anti-harassment policy, and processes for identifying, investigating, and enforcing violations of those policies to identify and reform deficiencies. The league will work with the Players Association to ensure that the results of these team and league reviews will serve as a roadmap to ensure safe environments for players and staff. The second initiative, comprehensive policies and procedures created for the league and all member clubs to ensure moving forward that there is a systematic, transparent, and effective execution of any harassment or workplace conduct issues. So the third initiative, a reopening of the 2015 investigation regarding former NWSL coach Paul Riley, including a review of the circumstances surrounding his departure from the Portland Thorns FC and his subsequent hiring by Western New York Flash and the North Carolina Courage. So the fourth initiative, a review of the available investigative reports related to all historical complaints of discrimination, harassment, or abuse, physical, emotional, or sexual in the NWSL, and where necessary, a reopening of the respective investigation or the initiation of a new education process. And then the last initiative, the continuation of ongoing investigations initiated under the NWSL's current anti-harassment policy and the recommendation of sanctions where appropriate. So I'm just going to leave all that there. I'm just going to leave it at that. There is more in the article if you would like to read it. Again, it's going to be linked in the description below. Yeah, so it definitely seems as though there could be multiple investigations about to be opened or reopened. So allegations, accusations, and investigations, whether it be past or present, could be getting looked at again. I'm wondering if the NWSL is going to be transparent with their findings, because as I said in one of my previous videos, I'm getting pretty fucking tired of these investigations getting solved and then being made confidential with no other details about it. Like, there is no transparency at all, and I understand protecting the players and victims by not revealing the identities of the victims. By all means, protect the players, protect the victims. Don't reveal their identities. However, when you're a coach who's accused of sexually coercing your former players, when you're a coach accused and proven to be emotionally and verbally abusive to players, and when you're a coach accused of body shaming players, then the players and others have the right to know who you are and what you've done in the past. By not being transparent with players, the NWSL is putting these players in a possibly dangerous situation where if they knew beforehand, they probably wouldn't want anything to do with those coaches. The example I've given before is, imagine being a Courage player and waking up that morning to hear your coach, Paul Riley, is accused of sexually coercing former players, dating back to 2010. Honestly, if I was a Courage player, I would be disgusted and pissed, because not only did the NWSL know about him and what he did, I and my teammates had no idea, and we were put into possibly a dangerous situation. The NWSL needs transparency, among other things, which they need a lot of things. I'm hoping, however, something does come from these investigations. I wouldn't be surprised if, more names are revealed. I wouldn't be surprised if new details to old investigations get revealed. A lot could be getting uncovered and brought to light. If you guys are into astrology, it's Mercury retrograde right now. So what happens during this time is the things that occurred in the past, the things that happened in the past come up again. Usually come up again right now. So yeah, what happens in the past gets revealed, and technology gets a little weird. Anyway, as Nadia Nadim said last week, this league, the NWSL, it can be great. It can still be great. But we need to get the idiots out. I'm hoping we do get the idiots out. I want to hope for the best. The NWSL does have a lot of work to do when it comes to winning back the trust of players and fans. It's hard to predict what's going to come up in the upcoming days and weeks. The only thing we can do is wait and see. Wait and see if the NWSL are really going to enact these changes and initiatives that they keep talking about. At the end of the day, words and promises are overall meaningless if they're not backed up with action. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.